So now we're going to step things up a bit and look at some more of the rough terrain, so more going on, so lots of visual cues, lots more rocks, more features that are going to give you that push. So trying to push back at them again through those heels, through those wrists, trying to keep those eyes up as much as possible.
Yeah, and it's really strong, the visual cues here, as Griff pointed out, they're one after another, and they can really start to suck your eyeballs down. As we look down, sense of time perception changes, things are coming at us even faster, so our brain gets a bit overloaded, and when our brain gets overloaded, that's when those flight and fight instincts kick in, and rather than staying nice and fluid and letting the bike rotate below us and pushing through sections, we start to death grip the bars a little bit, hold the breath a little bit, and bring our head and shoulders forward to look down, which all promotes that over rotation that we really want to avoid. So the key here is to set things up just as before, but actually look up and through, keep the breathing going. This is where, as I say, you might hold your breath and try and pick a nice line in advance by the entry point. Have your line sorted out. There's not going to be much changing of direction going on here through this rock garden, so we've just got to commit to where we want to be, think through, look through, pump through, and avoid the push.
So something else we can add in to our technique, we've already got that heel wrist drop, we've got our hips as well sinking just behind those heels. We can start talking about our top line, so our sort of chest, shoulders, neck and head, trying to keep those open to the trail as much as possible. So something I talk a lot about with the people I coach is trying to keep that chest pointing above those handlebars. So imagine you've got an eye in the middle of your chest, and that's also pointing where you want to go, so looking down that trail with your chest.
Yeah, and it's really common to see people keep their, as you say, keep their lower half of their body in check, but the upper half keeps getting these big pushes, and that momentum can easily help to stall the wheel as it rolls off a rock into a smaller space or gets jammed into the upslope of the next rock. And that upper body form is really crucial to keeping a nice fluid pace through. You watch the top guys racing through the roughest of terrain, head to shoulder to chest is all very steady and upright, and you don't see these flicks forward and that push coming. And avoiding that push is super important as it gets bigger and as we go faster. Trick here, as Griff said, is just to think about that eye in the centre of the chest, but just bringing the upper body back above the hips a little bit more, and just making sure that rather than rounding out and getting pushed, we just stay a little bit more upright, looking up and through. Applying all of that, we'll see Griff come through this section, and we won't see any of that rocking around. We'll see a lot of motion down below the hip line with the suspension and the heels and the wrists and the levers really working, but up top, it's going to be nice and steady. So with a higher frequency of inputs, hitting them at higher speeds, there's a lot more forces in play, there's a lot more momentum behind Griff as he gets up to speed, and that's where that push is really important to control. There's two options. He can push through the bars and accelerate the bike as it tries to stall against things, under rotating by driving those wrists down, and with the back wheel to suck up those bumps and stop getting pushed, it's softening those knees and dropping into the pocket. Combining the push and the sink, Griff stays nice and stable with the upper body form, all the actions down below, suspension's working correctly and hard, and he's smoothed out and turned in what looks like a very fierce rocky line and ridden through it nice and smoothly with a good level of speed, accelerating through the entry, through the section and out through the exit.